Super. Thank you. Super. Thank you. Is it possible to have it also on the TV? Okay. So the session is research and capacity strengthening for NRW management. I will focus on. So first of all, let me introduce what is IFD, because I don't know if everyone knows about this organization. So the French Development Agency is part of a group, of the IFD group. So basically we are a financial institution that finance and support public partners and civil organizations. We have two subsidiaries. One is called Proparco. It's financing the private sector. So I'm in charge of financing the public, but we have also a subsidiary financing the private. And we have also another one, which is called Expertise France, which is in charge of technical assistance to the partners. So maybe also to precise, so we are financing through sovereign loan, but also non-sovereign loan, meaning that in some countries, when it's possible, we can finance directly the utilities or the cities. This is our activity for last year. So we financed almost 14 billion euro. We did more 1,000 projects. 4,000 projects are implementing. Maybe something that is special for our organization as well, we have a mandate that is dedicated to climate. So more than 50% of our financing are dedicated to climate. We are operating in 160 countries, and 50% of the commitment is in Africa. So now I come to our topic today. So I'm part of the water and sanitation division of the organization. So we finance drinking water, of course, centralized and decentralized sanitation, water resource management, also resilient flood, and the performance of this organization. In the region, so we have 2030, which is achieving universal access to water and sanitation. So has said universal access to water and sanitation. So has said, so infrastructure investment is key, but the efficiency is for us a growing need to improve the performance of the water utility in Kenya. Here are the key achievements. That have been made as of now, because it's been now 2 years that the program is ongoing. So first of all, in the procurement, particularly in the specification to enhance the type of equipment that are about, in the specification to enhance the type of equipment that are about, particularly the meters are key to improve NRW. And I work also a lot on capacity building, and there was more particularly a training and a study tour that was organized in France to go and see how the utilities are dealing with the subject in secondary cities in France. I think it was in France. I think it was a really interesting tour. So now the results. And this is where it's really interesting, because they started, so it was more around 42% of non-revenue water, and today they stand more like around 30%. So it means that they managed around 30%. So it means that they managed to improve by 12% in 2 years, and the program is still ongoing in 2 years, and the program is still ongoing for 1 more year. So we really hope they will manage to be around 25 maybe, let's hope. But it means that even with 2.5 million euro, you can do a lot to improve the non-revenue water. So we have another program where we are supporting MOWASCO through a loan that is for Coast Waterworks Development Agency. It's a huge project, I'm sure you've heard about it. It's the Moache project, which is dedicated to the city of Mombasa. So the World Bank is financing the big dam, I'm sure it was in the news everywhere. And we are financing the water treatment plant and one of the main transmission line. But we say that as soon as the water is going to come, then there will be a real challenge for MOWASCO, because a lot of pipes are leaking. So that's why we decided to put a component on the NRW, and the assignment has started with the company Aegis. It's starting 8 months ago, I think. And so right now I don't have the result like we have for Kiwasco, but we really hope to have the same kind of outcomes. So the main task are assessment of the existing situation and DMAs, implementation of monitoring of DMAs, the water meter replacement, so this is what I was saying, aspect that is again coming back. Dealing also with social connection, it requires some specific social engineering most of the time. Building the capacity of MOWASCO, and reviewing the existing institutional setup for the NRW unit. So we come back to the management. I'm going to go through a new grant that was signed during the French African Summit in May, where the French government agreed for a grant to be able to support 2 utilities to improve their performance, generally speaking. So the proposal is fully aligned with the priorities of the Ministry of Water. We discussed quite extensively the purpose of the grant with them. And we decided to pick 2 WSPs that will be able to showcase, like pilot, what we can do in Kenya when we want to tackle the challenges of performance, generally speaking. So it's not only about NRW, even if NRW is a big part of it, but it's about performance globally. And the 2 that were selected based on the RASREB report and underneath were Kiwasco and Eldoas. One of the goals also of this grant is to see, because you talk a lot also about PPP yesterday, if at some point it would be possible to have a kind of partnership with the private, and in which form it could be. So I'm not sure that the sector is totally ready for a pure PPP, to be honest, but we can start with management contract, for example, which is what is existing in some other location in Africa. It's hard to break the vicious cycle from NRW to global performance. So here you have maybe what is happening most of the time. So you have low investment and particularly low maintenance. The operation and maintenance is key. The asset management is key. So you have a lower services delivery that is decreasing the willingness to pay of the clients. And of course, then, your costs are unmet. And this is a kind of vicious cycle that we see all the time. So the idea is how you move from there to the situation where you put more energy on maintenance and operation, on asset management. So you secure your investment. You make them sustainable. You don't have to come every 5 years and make a new investment again. Then you can meet financial stability. You can have a service that is qualitative, so the user is satisfied, they are willing to pay, and then you enter a positive cycle, I would say. For NRW, the key is how you increase the number of customers supplied by the same amount of water produced. So as you were saying, there's almost 50% of water lost in Kenya. So this 50% is 50% customers that you can get. And these 50% customers mean...
Some of us at the back, kindly. Kindly. Good. Meanwhile,
it's quite classical. I would say there will be a procurement process of the activities. So this is what we have financed in Djibouti. It was through a grant because in Djibouti we are dealing with grant, but it can be also through loans.